It's Rutgers team. They're winning ball games. It ain't pretty though. It really is not. This line's at 7. We'll pick it at 7.5. All right, just because we don't like pushes on the show. It's pretty juiced to Rutgers plus 7.5, but I can see that line moving back and forth a little bit. Rutgers, Ethan Kaliakmanis is not a world beater. They've run the
We
ball
we found that
effectively.
out last week too.
Yeah, we found that out last week. Well, we've known
Oh,
that.
we've known.
We've
But
known
everyone
that.
else, he's changed. Kirk Soraka, new Athan.
Reunited? No. He is who he is. And Nebraska has looked pretty good. And Rutgers, you know what's funny about their defense, and I'm a little bit shocked by this. Would you be surprised to know, Christopher, that Rutgers is giving up 5.9 yards per carry on
That would
defense?
not have been on my bingo card coming into this year. That is pretty surprising.
Yeah, they're I, that makes me concerned, right? Because if you are not able to, first of all, if Rutgers isn't able to run the ball, Nebraska has a really good defensive line. Okay, it's it's very good. We've talked about it plenty of times. They've gotten gashed before, and their run defense stats are a little bit inflated by playing Colorado, but they still haven't allowed a rushing touchdown all year. They're letting up 2.8 yards per carry, only 85 yards per game on the ground. Uh, I think it's gonna be tough sledding for Rutgers. I honestly think that, but is it enough where you feel good about Nebraska covering that 7 at home? I want to say yes. I I don't I don't know. I'll let you pick. I know what you're picking, but
I'll take Nebraska. I would like it at 7, a lot more than 7.5. But for the show, I'll take it at 7.5. Obviously, not going to be betting this one. It. I just I think Nebraska, I think they had a lot of hype and then they lost to Illinois, who, by the way, I think is a very good football team. They ran into a quarterback, Luke Altmaier, that was playing very, very well. And I don't see that in Nathan Kaliakmanis. I don't see that in this Rutgers offense. To me, they are big play oriented, not only in the running game, but also in the passing game. The consistency that Ethan struggles, his footwork is still awful. It was so bad last Friday against Washington, and I at 115 yards. They got outgained by over 200 yards, and they only gave up 18 points. I don't know exactly how that happened. It was probably more so about the third down inefficiency of Washington that I think with Raiola and the running game of Nebraska at home, they're going to be able to do a better job than Washington did and be able to capitalize on their drives. And listen, I love Rutgers. I think Rutgers can absolutely win this whole game. I think they're good enough to run the ball. I think they're good enough in their defense is solid enough. And listen, if Kirk Soraka and Ethan are on the same page and Ethan playing well, he's a good Big Ten quarterback. When he doesn't, though, that's where we see problems. And how often do we see him against good defenses play well? I have not. As a Minnesota fan, I have seen him plenty of times to know that I don't know if I can trust him right now in this game to go on the road and get a win here. I think Nebraska and Raiola, they're playing very well. I think their defensive line, we talked about it, struggled against Illinois, but got back, bounced back against Purdue. And Purdue, by the way, just fired their OC. They're not very a world beater offensively, though, but I don't think it's a crazy drop off from Purdue or a crazy uptick from Purdue to Rutgers offensively. Rutgers has a very specific plan on how they're going to be able to win this football game. And I think with the way Nebraska is built, they will be able to disrupt that. I'm talking about running the football well and playing defense, shortening the football game, bend but don't break kind of defense that Rutgers can play to be able to keep teams from scoring right in the red zone, scoring right now, or extending drives on third down. I do think Nebraska, how well they can run the ball, how good Raiola has been, man, even on third down. I think they have the weapons to take advantage of the Rutgers defense. Give me Nebraska minus 7.5.
think a big struggle with uh and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but a big struggle for Washington this year has been, that red zone offense kind of it's costed them in a couple games this season. And look, Nebraska's not very good in the red zone. And Rutgers is fantastic
Yeah,
defensively in the
that's
red
true.
zone. And when you're talking about margins like 7.5 points, I think that matters. I think that matters covering 7.5. I'll I'll take Nebraska to win, but I'll take Rutgers to cover for that reason. I don't think Nebraska. I think they'll struggle putting the ball in the end zone once they get down there. Now, could Nebraska have a couple explosive plays? Absolutely. Not sure if it's going to be in the pass game though, because Rutgers has kind of been pretty decent in that aspect, in terms of giving up explosive plays. But yeah, I'll take Rutgers to cover. I don't feel good about it at all, but I just think the margins there. If you're going to give me the hook, I'll take it.
That's not crazy. The three missed field goals though last in the first half for Nebraska speaks to their inefficiencies in the red zone too, but I don't quite foreseeing that happen again. I mean, if it does,
It's
holy
fair.
cow, we got some real problems. But I think that's where I think people are like, well, Nebraska struggled with Purdue in the first half. I mean, they did, but also they should have been up more than they were, or they
Oh,
should have been,
yeah,
and it would have
absolutely.
been 0-0.
And to be fair, Washington should have beat Rutgers, like for
Yeah,
similar reasons. It wasn't it a missed field goal that won in the game too. So it might have been multiple missed field goals. I was to go back and look at that game, but yeah, I guess we're both on Nebraska to win, but give me the points. Give me the points.